third, as it would have continued 400 metres below us as well, meaning the entire glacier was about 600 metres tall. When our glaciers advance they go through a process that is called plucking, and essentially what happens is as the ice is making its way down, it's plucking up any rock or debris on the bottom of the valley floor here. That rock, as it gets plucked up, gets frozen inside of the glacier for thousands and thousands of years. And as it gets frozen inside, that is actually known as glacial till. It gains this new name. Now, 18,000 years ago, when our glacier was at its largest, there was a whole lot of that glacial till frozen inside. But then about 13,000 years ago, our glacier began to melt back up the valley here. And as it was melting up the valley, all that rock, that glacial till that was frozen inside, that had nowhere to go except to just be deposited on the valley floor. So when you look out to the right-hand side of the bus, all that rock you can see out there, that is abandoned glacial till. It was once frozen inside the Tasman Glacier. Unfortunately now, it's been left behind as the glacier has retreated. There is so much of that rock though, that abandoned glacial till, that what we're looking at is only the very top of a pile of rock that goes 400 metres deep to where the true valley floor lies. This also influences the abandoned glacial till, the environment out here, because the abandoned glacial till is so loosely packed together. When it rains here in the valley, which it rains quite a bit, we get between 4 and 7 metres of rain every year. But when it rains here in the valley, the water, as it hits the surface, doesn't stay on the surface of the valley here. It actually trickles down that pile of rocks 400 metres deep, and it ends up in some underground streams and waterways that feed out into Lake Pukaki. That is why it is so sparse and barren out here on the valley floor. There is one exception though. We've got the Tasman River, which is just out to the right in the middle of the valley there. And the Tasman River, that water stays on the surface, but it flows all year round. And the only reason for that is that glacial rock flour. So what happens is that glacial rock flour, when it does get mixed with water, it begins to form a clay or a cement-like substance, and it actually patches up any holes in amongst the rock along the riverbed, essentially creating the riverbed for the glacier, for the river to flow on top of. Same goes with our lake. The rock flour has filled any holes in the rocks, allowing the water to stay on the surface. Now, very shortly, coming out the left-hand side of the bus, you're going to be able to see the Wakefield Waterfall. Now, the Wakefield Waterfall is the tallest permanent waterfall here in the National Park, and it stands at 230 metres. Now, there are two things to look out for when you see the waterfall, though. That height, that 230 metres, that's going to be coming up on the left now, guys. But that 230 metres is how tall our glacier used to sit up against the sides of the mountains here. Second thing though, you'll notice down the bottom, there isn't a huge river or huge pool of water, considering the amount currently coming off the waterfall, and that's that abandoned glacial till again. That water coming off the waterfall there is either snowmelt or rainwater. It doesn't have that rock flour, so as it hits the surface of the valley, it ends up trickling down in amongst all those rocks 400 metres deep to those underground streams and rivers. Oh, we're very nearly at the Blue Lakes car park. What we're going to do is Brenda will park us up, we will disembark, we're going to gather as a group out the side of the bus, and once everyone is off the bus, we will start making our way to the lake. Again, you can see it's raining, so I am just going to reinforce that weather warning for us, team, but please don't forget any belongings on the bus. This bus will be collecting another group, bring them all out to the lake. And lastly, we are in a national park. Please do not litter. If you have any rubbish on you, please keep it on your person until we get back to the hotel where you can dispose of it properly. Otherwise, as we walk out, I'll be at the front, and I ask that you please stay behind me. We do stop a couple times along the track to do head counts. Otherwise, we'll park out, we'll jump off the bus, we'll head out to the lake,